Hi everyone, it's Jackson here. How's it going? Welcome back to Endeavours for November the 6th, Thursday. As always, timecodes will be in the description if you just want to jump ahead to one Endeavour in particular. So this set here, I would go... this one here requires you to have Somerset. It's jury crafting. This one's pretty good, so I'd go this one, Dangerous Foes, and a daily quest, because what you can do is you can do a guild daily in the Mage's Guild option, which takes you to public dungeons, or you can do a Fighter's Guild daily, which takes you to dolmens. Both of these options have dangerous foes in them, so conveniently you'll do this one while you're doing one of these. Majority of the time it's pretty straightforward to do. You can also do the Undaunted one, but the odds of you finding two dangerous foes in there can be a little more painful, but that is possible as well. And, Scribing Kills isn't too bad either, so you could do that instead of the Dangerous Foes, or you could do these three options here, or you could do these three options instead if you don't have Somerset. This is fine. The only one I wouldn't bother with is Battlegrounds with a Guildmate. Not to say there's any issues with Battlegrounds if you like them. Personally, I don't, but the main issue is the amount of time you're going to be spending. This is usually, queuing for a battleground could take ages, but actually doing the battleground, it can take anywhere between 10, sometimes even 15 minutes, and you've got to do 2 of those. You'll probably get everything here done in the time it takes just to queue for a battleground, let alone even doing one. So it's just going to be way worse of an option for 15 steals than any of these other options here. I would just personally avoid this, especially since it requires you to get a guildmate at the same time. Not everybody's just got one of those people ready to go. It's going to take time getting that sorted as well. So you just get everything else done here by the time you're even ready. Just do this shit on your own. Right, starting with jury crafting. So the absolute cheapest thing you can do here is just craft 4 pewter rings for a total of 8 pewter ounce and nothing else. Unlike the other equipment crafting skill lines, you don't need star materials, but this one is very low resource usage. The only thing is pewter can be a little bit painful to get, especially since you don't get it naturally through the there's no hirelings. But it's 8 pewter is something you can get very quickly. I'll show you just the methods I would go. So if you have access to writs, specifically jewelry crafting writs, this can be a very valuable thing to do today, because all jewelry crafting writs do is you got to craft just a couple of items to the writ level, and you get some good stuff. You can get surveys, which are it's a 12.5% chance every writ, regardless of the level. So even if you do the pewter ones, it's 12% chance. They're really helpful for other endeavors. I suggest getting those if you don't have any surveys yet. You get chance at quality upgrading materials as well, which are nice. You get extra gold, a teeny bit of experience. You get some other jewelry crafting materials, which can be helpful if you want to craft lower level jewelry stuff. Just a lot of things that are really handy. You also, I think you also get God, what's the thing you get for doing writs? Oh yeah, Swift. So you get the exemplary Swift jewelry from doing writs too, which doesn't sell for a lot, but they are Swift as a jury trait is really, really good. It's one of the ones I use probably the most. And yeah, to get them to research yourself, you can just get them through writs. So it's quite helpful. Starting off writs, there's 100,000 video guides out there for that. The guy you go to start writs for jury crafting is in Somerset right here. So yeah, you can just go find him there using Eleanor Crest Townhouse through Home Tours. Video will be in the description just explaining quickly how Home Tours works, how you can use it just to teleport around. You can use it for free. It's really easy to do. So yeah, I would advise doing that to start off with. So one way to get your own jewelry for this is to go to guild stores, go to jewelry crafting, to material, and look up ounce here. Not everyone will have pewter. You might have to look around a fair bit, and you want to be careful how much you buy it for. So 12 goldens, a little bit much. I would personally not spend any more than 10 gold a piece on pewter, because yeah, there's enough of it out there. You shouldn't really just impulse buy this stuff, because you will need a lot of it if you're going to do writs. Yes, here's a guild stores out there. Just look for this icon in maps, and yeah, just use use home tools to get all the places with guild stores to have a check. The other way is just mine it, which is also not bad today because it's just, you need 10, which refines into anywhere between 7 and 10 of the refined stuff. And even if you get 7, which isn't enough to craft 4 rings, what you can do instead is just deconstruct the rings that you craft, and you'll probably get an extra piece of pewter from that, which will give you enough to craft a 4th one. The only issue with this method is, one, every jewelry crafting, like jewelry raw material location, found like in these areas, they share them with blacksmithing, so you'll sometimes get ores instead of dust, which is not something you can really use to craft your jewelry with. The ores themselves can have small amounts of jewelry dust. Ounces. But the most of it is through just the regular jewelry nodes. There's also the jewelry that you get that does spawn. Sometimes like you might get platinum or one of the other versions depending on your level, which you might not be able to craft with, and also requires more material to craft a single item with. So that might get in the way as well. So if you're going to do this specifically, try and do this on a character below level 15, I think. Oh no, for jewelry I think it's like below level 20 something, because that way it'll only give you pewter. Because yeah, that was platinum just there, so if we use that, it would take heaps of platinum to craft 4 rings, so you don't want to do that. What I'll do is I'll just I'll remove all the objectives. So if you want to take a screenshot of this, this is all of the blacksmithing / jewelry nodes in Craglorn that I've found over my time. So every single one of these spots here with the blue like mining icons, these can have a jewelry node in them. So you can use this just to run around. Especially this area here, it's like fucking stacked full of this stuff. Yeah, Craglorn's great because you can also get Nocrocs in this place, which is really valuable to either use yourself or sell. So yeah, just funding your endeavors efforts is a good thing to have. So this is what pewter looks like. Every pewter seam looks just like this, like a big silver blob. That's what you're looking for. If you have a lot of champion points and don't know what to use it on, I would say just rush straight to Master Gatherer and Plentiful Harvest for this method here. Because, yeah, this will speed up how quickly you grab it, and then this will speed up, well, this will give you more when you find the pewter seams. Okay, dangerous foes. So what constitutes as a enemy having the dangerous foe sort of enemy tag? It's these things here, these little lights next to the health bar at the top of the screen. These indicate that an enemy is a dangerous foe. Now, this guy, for example, is a dangerous foe, so we could just go and kill these guys here, and you'll find these sorts of enemies just littered around specific zones mostly, or there's like certain delves, just like certain enemy types that account for this. Now, one of the easiest ways just to get a bunch of dangerous foes quickly without having to worry about like if you're not worried about the other endeavors, is Spellscar. This area here, this section and this section, it's got the Storm and Frost Atronachs respectively, and these both count as dangerous foes. You've also got the Gargoyles in Craglorn as well, near the Hellrust Citadel or the Randy Scar School of Warriors. This area here also has a heap of Gargoyles. But because we're doing a daily quest, I'll run through what I would do to get both of these at the same time. It also, oh yeah, the events for Halloween ended anyway. Never mind that. I think the guild dailies are still pretty good for it, but the best option will be a jewelry crafting writ if you can do the Sumstead option, because this will count as both of these here. Well, it'll partly count for this, so you can just craft a couple of pewter items after that. If you don't have access to jewelry crafting though, you can still do the other writs. I think clothing writs by minimum are just great, because you can get dreg wax from them, which is a really good resource. Sells for a lot. I don't really use them myself, I just use them to sell. It's just like a good way of making a bit of gold in this game. But yeah, there's all the different writs, and I would personally just do one of these. There's hundreds of thousands of guides on writs, how they work. I would advise just taking a look at them. They explain it better than I can, but you basically just need some resources. and or like refined materials and some style materials from just the vendors. For example, the blacksmiths. These guys here sell style materials, and you can just use those for doing grits. But yeah, because a daily quest, the Dangerous Foes one is here, we can also do a guild daily quest, which will get us both. I'll show you how. Alright, so daily quests with Dangerous Foes. Dolmens, I think, are an easier fight than, especially right now with the Writhing Wall event, or the bosses of some of the public dungeons of... Oh, sorry. So all of the public dungeons, some of their bosses have been replaced with the Writhing Wall Daedra, and some of them are fucking piss weak, as in like they do fuck all like damage to you, but some of them are brutal and they all have a lot of health, so they can be a pain. But there's always bosses in these places that you can just... They're weaker ones, like the original bosses in the public dungeons, and they're usually easier. Or you can do... Yeah, the Dolmens are easier than that. It's just the enemies have way less health, the Dangerous Foe versions. The only thing is the entire daily quest will be quicker doing the Mages Guild Public Dungeon one. And it also just depends, because they both give you script, but the Dolmens give you the signature script, while the Mages Guild dailies give you the focus script. So it depends. Do you need more signature script, or do you need more focus script? Normally you need the affix script more, but I don't think the Undaunted daily quest is very good, and especially today when there's not really going to be many Dangerous Foes. So I've just remembered while editing the video, you can't do the Undaunted daily delves anyway, because ZeniMax decided to just make it impossible to do them for the event. Yeah. Interesting, but yeah, that's ZeniMax for you, I suppose. So yeah, just anything I say about the Undaunted events, just fucking ignore them. Quick as the other options here. So yeah, do that if you want, but I don't recommend it over the other options. So why is the Mages Guild option so good? Because no matter what, the chest is always in the same spot for each of these public dungeons. Nobody else can mess with it. So unlike the Undaunted daily quest, or like the Delve daily quest, some of those can be impacted by other players, because you share like the spawns of some of the things you're going to interact with, whereas the Mages Guild daily and the Dolmen daily, you don't really get impacted by other players helping you. It's kind of helpful if they do, whereas the Undaunted Delve and the DLC Delve, they can be more painful with other players around. So I do advise these, and you can also use home tours to get to basically all of these public dungeons and these dolmens quicker. But the issue with the dolmen one is some of the dolmens can be far away from any of the home tour houses, and they can just be a pain in the ass to get to, because there's always one dolmen up at a time and it always changes. So yeah, you got one over here, for example, one over here, one over here. Whereas with the public dungeons, there's always just one location, and 90% of them are like really easy to get to. So for example, today we got Madness in Valabal Tour. It's probably the most, it's probably one of the most annoying, but still, there's Doomchild Plateau is over there, and we can actually use, this is the only one I actually use the Boatswain for. But like, for example, if we got Sanguine's Domain in Shadowfen, we could just go with this house here with home tours. If we got Stormhaven, this one here, you got home tours over there. Alika Desert, Natatambu, you've got home tours over here, so you can get there pretty quick. You get the point. Yeah, Resurrected Will, really fast with twin archers, that sort of thing. Okay, specifically for getting to Crimson Cove for the first time, because the house is over here, but it's like, I find it's easy to get here this way, because there's enemies in Drubble. So what I do instead is I go Selin Dilwen here. I ask her to take me to Reaper's March. Once I'm in Reaper's March, probably just go over there and unlock the Wayshrine, because some of the guild stores here can be pretty good. But then I go Malabal Tor. And what this will do is it'll take us to that town in the middle of the map. And you can just follow that town's road north, and just come up here, and Crimson Cove is up here. Just come down here. And think about Sky Shards where you come through. There's one over here that you can grab. Sorry, just there. So you can grab that on your way through. Yeah, wow. Once you see the tower, just jump straight off. Because usually you'll land in the water and not hurt yourself. Now, yeah, that entire area over there is just full of wood orcs, which are all hostile, and they're just painful to deal with. Yeah, you can just ignore them, but they slow you down and they knock you off your mount and shit. It's just annoying. And if you go the other way, there's also, like, Red Guard hostile NPCs too, and they do the same thing. Okay, so if you have Cloak or a Vampire with stage 4 invisibility, it can be pretty good getting through here, because you don't have to fight anything. Just be a bit mindful of the if someone else is fighting enemies, because they may cause them to fire, like, AoEs on the ground, and those will pull you out of stealth. You'll also... Your skills will also bug out sometimes and not work. So make sure you have some AoE skills to kill the enemies quick, especially if they heal you, because the enemies will be slapping you a lot, so things that can heal you at the same time can be good. So if you want skills that are really great for killing lots of enemies like this, Templar, Adric Spear, Puncturing Strikes, Morph 2's Puncturing Sweep just heals you constantly for all the damage you deal with it. Fucking great. The other option is Necromancer, Bone Turret, Death Scythe. Every time you hit an enemy, it heals you for a bunch, and increases for each enemy hit. So if you hit a shit ton of enemies at once, that one's also excellent. Now, for every public dungeon daily quest, there will be this chest here. So if there's 10 players grabbing this single chest, you can all grab them. It's not going to impact any of the other guys. And yeah, you don't have to fight anything for it. The Undaunted Delves, you have to fight the the boss of the Delve. So my advice to you is just get the map pins add-on, so you can just check this. If it says this name here, if it doesn't, it's one of the Daedra bosses, so you can just check that. The other ones, if it's the same as the name here, they'll be much easier to deal with, and you can just go kill them, and they count as dangerous foes for this endeavor here. But you need to just kill a few, so you'll have to run around a bit more than this. I was going to fight this guy though, because he's easily the fucking most painful one to deal with of this group here. Okay, so the main issue is there's two things. There's this thing here, which is fucking bullshit. So you can't break free. It's impossible. He's also got really hard hitting heavy attacks, and this flame attack over here. If you get hit by one of those, it fucking hurts like crazy. Yeah, this thing here. So I can't do anything. I can't break free. It incentivizes you to bring somebody else to help you. So this flame here, don't get hit by that, because as you can see there, it fucking hurts. I'm already halfway. Yeah, just constantly like keeping away from this guy, so the blue flame doesn't absolutely destroy you, and trying to avoid the heavy attacks too whenever possible. He's quite large, so you can hit him from relatively far away. What happened there? The fucking big flame AoEs just disappeared. Okay, yeah, you always want to keep a heal on you, because as soon as this happens, it means that you might just run out of health if you're not really tanky. Or deceptively durable. Ow! Okay, we got away with it there. Okay. So now we can just leave. Now, once you complete the Domin or the public dungeon chest, like once you loot it, I advise you buy this house here, Flaming next to Lux Garay. The reason for this is house is about 15,000 gold, I believe it is. And what you can do is you can use this to travel directly to it for free, and it takes you near the stuff that you hand in these quests to in the capital of Deshan. You can get other versions which can be better. For example, in Grotwood you've got Snugpod, which takes you to the ones in Grotwood. The Undaunted Delve there is good. Again, you can't do that one right now though. But the one in Stormhaven is arguably the best, but it's super expensive. It's like hundreds of thousands of gold to buy that house. So if you don't want to spend that kind of gold, just buy this version instead, which is way cheaper. Nowhere near as bigger investment loss. And here we are. So we'll come here and hand this in. Now, what I advise you do is if you use companions to go and grab out one that you use as a damage dealer, especially like a magicka damage dealer. So in this case, I use Ember for all that shit. And just hand this in now. Because if they are here when you hand it in, they get a level up in their major skill line. Also, Ember gets like a rapport increase if you want to do the quests. And in the reward here, you can also get a major skills accreditation, which I think increases your major skill XP by a little bit. So we got a bound focus script here. It'll be one of the options you don't have already, unless you have all of them, and it'll just give you a random one. You can use these on other characters to sort them out there too, which is nice. I think you can also rarely get non-bound ones which you can sell, and some of those can be very expensive to sell. So, but that's quite rare. You get some other stuff. I don't know if you can get jewelry materials here. Maybe not. Now the Dolmen version, you'll get the same thing, except it'll just give you a bound signature script instead. The same thing with the Undaunted one. You'd normally get a affix script. But yeah, again, you can't do that one right now. Fucking lost. Yeah, there's other options for daily quests. For example, in each of the DLC zones, there's always a daily world boss quest line, or like repeatable quests, and a daily delve repeatable quest. There's heaps of world boss ones you can share with other people, and there's always a single delve boss one that you can do yourself. The delve boss ones can be pretty quick. Some of the zones I think are better because they don't require you to kill the boss, which can be painful. And the things you need to do are not shared with, like, you don't share the spawns with other people as you do with some of the ones in, for example, Austinium. It's the oldest one. Like, for example, the Cold Perch Cavern Delve, you have to grab these eggs, and everybody else has got to grab the same eggs you do, so you're kind of competing with everybody. It's a pain in the ass sometimes. Same with the boss. Sometimes it takes ages for the boss to spawn, whereas once in Fargrave, you're not dealing with that shit. The boss, you don't have to kill them. You just have to interact with some stuff, and the stuff you interact with is not impacted by other people. So some places are good, like Fargrave. Some, like Austinium, probably don't bother with. That being said, the motifs for Trinamak are still expensive these days, so I mean, not cheap, I would say. But in that case, I'd probably go for the ancient orc stuff because some of that can be way more expensive. Alright, moving on. Alright, last option: defeating enemies with scribe skills. So I think it's important to note that the only thing that matters for this is the last hit, the thing that takes the enemy from any HP to 0 in a single hit. If that's done by like a light attack or a status effect, it doesn't count. So there's two ways I would suggest this. Either go kill critters so that they have 1 HP, so the only thing they can take damage from is the scribe skill, so it's like impossible for anything else to get in the way. Or use AoE scribe skills because they have a lower chance of applying status effects, and don't light attack and don't use proc stats like Well the Depth, Viper's Sting, what's it called? The fucking Pillar of Nirn. Anything like that. Anything that says when you do this, it does this and it does a bunch of damage. Any sets like that you want to avoid. Things like Order's Wrath are good. Separate monster sets that give you just a 1 piece, they're really good too. Yeah, just anything that just gives you raw stats is fine. So, there are 2 ways to do this. As I said, the AoE way to like just use enemies. Maybe you can use a public dungeon while you're doing the daily quest and the dangerous foes. Just do this as well with your AoE skills, because the enemies in there are even the Writhing Wall Daedra are pretty weak. It's just the bosses that take ages to kill. So yeah, in the easy way though, I'll just go Wield Soul with magic damage, Lingering Torment, and Breach. This is the version you get for completing the very first quest, second era of Scribing. Because that takes 5 minutes and you're basically ready to go. Everything else takes a lot of work. It's a lot of gold. It's a lot of time invested getting all the stuff together. And yeah, I mean, the main thing is the gold. It's like 50,000 spending it on all the different grimoires. So yeah, it can be very expensive setting yourself up for Skyrim. But I would say it's a little quicker. Not by much, so I don't think it's worth it that much. Yeah, it's up to you. So yeah, just the skill is all you need for the like simple way. For the advanced way, the AoE skills, I'd go get Soul Burst. You want to get it doesn't show here because I haven't showed it here, but yeah, you want Contingency. I like Soul Burst, Banner Bearer, Trample, and Elemental Explosion is good. It just has a long cast time, so you can get interrupted while you're trying to do that. It can be annoying, but the radius is fucking huge, so you hit tons of enemies. So what you could do is go find a bunch of weak enemies, and it just obliterates them in almost one hit, and then you just use the other stuff for the rest. Or you can use Traveling Knife, especially... I would only use this for a single target spamble on Magicka, but if you're Stamina, get multi-target, and that way it turns it into a stamina costing skill. Get Warrior's Opportunity, which increases the damage all your other stuff does, if you use martial damage on all the rest. And then either Vulnerability, Off Balance, Force, Berserk, any of this stuff here works really well. So yeah, that's where I would go. Or you can also use Leeching Thirst for Traveling Knife to basically turn it into something like Scythe, where it heals you for the damage done. That can also be really handy. But just be aware, Lingering Torment does count for the Endeavor. So if that gets the last hit, that also counts too. And putting Lingering Torment on a bunch of stuff can be helpful. You can also put Sage's Remedy on stuff. Like Soul Burst, if you put Sage's Remedy on that, it gives you some healing over time, so that can do the same thing. Because you can't put Leeching Thirst on like most stuff. The only things you can is... it's Smash. It's either where are they? Smash or Traveling Knife. Only these two. It's kind of shit, but yeah. Okay, for the simple way, just go find some critters like squirrels or deer or stuff like that, and just smack them with Magical Soul. You can find these things in a couple of places. One of them is the wings in the Scholarium. The wing of the Indrik, wing of the Netch, and the wing of the Griffin. These have these critters in them once you do their respective wing quests, I'm pretty sure. The only thing is these areas are shared with other players, so other people can come in here. If you come in here when I've just done this, you might not find anything in here to kill. So yeah, and there's not that many critters in here. There's like 10. That being said, these guys here don't really care about it, so you can just do that. But if you want better options, I think the 3 overland areas that are easy to reach are good. So Monkey's Rest here has about 30 little monkeys that you can kill with 1 HP. Stonefall's over here as well, easy to get to. The Davon's Fine Thieves area here has a bunch of little itsy-bitsy spiders here that you can kill. There's also a couple of bigger ones, but they're just like proper enemies, so you'd have to fight them. And then in Alikut Desert, Divan's Chagrin, this area here, I'm trying to remember what it's called, Goat's Head Oasis, that's right. So this area here, would you believe it? It's got goats. So you can kill the goats there and they count as critters too. If you want to use the AoE option, I like to use Wayristlers 1, because the first 2 of the first 3 rooms have like a bunch of easy to fight enemies in there. But you can use Public Dungeons, as I said, for the for them, because they're weaker than they are in dungeons. But yeah, it's up to you. You could use Skyreach, you could use Skyreach. You could use Dungeons, you could use whatever the hell you want. So I'll just go Wayristlers 1 and show you. The reason I use this place here is there's a bunch of skeevers in this room, which are really easy to fight. Well, these guys pull the skeevers over there, pull the skeevers over here. There's always one that doesn't pull. It's weird. This one over here didn't pull. So just keep moving around, keep healing yourself, because yes, they are skeevers, they are relatively weak, but 20 skeevers is still a lot. So I'm just going to start with the Trample. Trample's great, because it just travelled in a straight line for ages. Now I'll just go the other way. Trample again. Now, Trample's great on these guys just because they're all melee, so you can just kite them backwards and use it like that. But if you want to fight the enemies in here, you'll want one of the other things. Just, yeah, they have ranged enemies, so you're going to struggle to kite them. So all I do here is just pull them all over to this spot. Now with trample, it glitches out and like disappears on doorways, so you want to turn around and do it this way. Hit them all with trample, and then use burst a bunch of times. That's what I do. Obviously, if you got the other ones, it'll make it quicker, because you can stack them all together and have them all use lingering torment so they kill stuff quicker. And then down here, got another group here. I'll just get my resources back. Heal, and then pull them over. And do the same thing, just come to this spot here. It'll pull all the ranged enemies to the same location. That's what you're trying to do. Well, not to the same location, but like kind of pull them into just a singular direction. Hit them all with that. You can give them a couple more of those if you want. It's up to you. Just be aware that they do have a max range, and you can't just cast it over and over, unfortunately. I wish you could, but yeah. That one there. That's why I don't suggest trample all the time, because trample's got a cooldown of 3 seconds before you can use it again. Yeah, see? Yeah, it's fine. Okay, that's it. And yeah, I wouldn't fight this guy. He is a dangerous foe, but he's got fucking shit tons of health. Takes ages to kill him. Though he does spawn ghosts, so if you need any more enemies to kill, you can weaken him a bit and get the ghosts out. Yeah, you shouldn't need any more than that. As long as you just use Scribing Kills. Okay, that's all for today. Any questions, give me a holler as always. But thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for your support as always. See you next time. And dream in red.